So in the room we have Dr. Heena. So welcome to our very first podcast. And I just want to know a little bit about what you do and the work that you do in the community. Tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I'm really grateful to be the first speaker in the VRISE Speaker Spotlight podcast series. And let me tell you what I do. So I am a mompreneur. So I run...
First and foremost,
I'm a mom who runs businesses, so mompreneur. I am a survivor advocate, so I advocate for prevention of childhood sexual abuse. Both at the grassroots level, but also in form of global advocacy. And I am an aspiring politician. I ran for the Senate in last federal elections, and some great news is coming up for the state elections soon. I won't spill all the beans yet, but people will know.
All right. So what is your core message, mission or purpose behind what you do?
It's very simple. Because growing up as a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, I often didn't see many examples or many role models that I could follow. And when I got out of that abusive situation and I started my life from scratch, I realized that it's not just me. 1 in 4 children get sexually abused at least once in their lifetime. And for me, I wanted to become that role model for the survivors who are still finding their voice to know that our past does not define who we are or who we can become. Yeah. So everything I do, whether it's advocacy, whether running my own business, standing up for public office, the basic core message is to let other survivors know that you can do anything regardless of what you've been through.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. You have a very powerful story, and it's your own personal experience which defines who you are today and the work that you do. So it's really important to all of us, to advocate for the vulnerable, especially children. And the fact that you have taken your experience, your pain, and turned it into power is amazing. So congratulations. And, we all need, especially women that have faced challenges, to be able to step up and do something with it, to change the paradigm for others. So well done to you, Heena.
Thank you so much.
So tell me a little bit about your association with We Rise. Since you met the women at We Rise, how has We Rise changed your, say, last 12 months?
Well, I just want to say VRISE has opened doors for me or gotten me into places where I would not have imagined 12 months ago. Yes, I was out in the community and doing a lot of stuff, but having that support group of women who truly get you, who truly understand you, and who will champion you in rooms where you're not yet there is something that I've gotten out from VRISE. And all kudos to you as well, because as a coordinator, you have made sure that whoever is attending the VRISE events, they feel like it's a safe space for them.
Absolutely.
And through VRISE, I've been able to get and speak on to different panels. I've been, connected with world leaders. And I even got opportunity to go to the United Nations and speak at not just 1, but 2 parallel events. And all that started with small connections that were, going on behind the scenes. Absolutely. And a lot of people might think, oh, it's just another networking event. But it's not just another networking event, because in other networking events, you probably don't feel as if you're accepted for whatever reason. Maybe it's your color, maybe it's the way you dress, maybe it's the kind of business you do. But at We Rise, what I've noticed is that everybody is welcome, regardless of what their ethnic background is or what kind of business they're doing. Somebody who does hydroponics or plants is as welcomed and as loved by the women, or, if it's somebody in politics. Yes. So it's a wide range of women, and it has certainly given me opportunities which I probably didn't think of I could get 12 months ago.
That's wonderful. And, it's a testimony to our group, Cardinia Shire. We Rise has over 33 groups, and sometimes the spaces that you create, and I'm so happy that you feel welcomed and seen and heard, and giving that platform to be able to share your story more than anything else, and really be able to talk about the why and who you are behind everything that you do. And I think We Rise Cardinia Shire is the group that we need to attend more regularly, because the women, like you said, it's so multicultural as well. There's so many dynamics, so many different women from different levels, whether they are a seasoned entrepreneur, whether they're a multimillionaire, or whether you're just someone starting, looking for a place of empowerment, looking to start a business of your own. This is the room to be in, because you can learn from others that have gone before you and have also grown their businesses, even their mindset. There are so many coaches, so many healers in the room. That real soft, way of being able to connect with one another. So thank you, Heena. So Dr. Heena, you've spoken to us about the childhood sexual abuse and your advocacy in this area. You've built businesses, led teams, and now you're stepping into politics. Wow, that is so exciting. I'm just so in awe of everything that you've done so far. But what has been the biggest mindset shift in this journey?
Okay, so yes, there has been a lot that I've been able to do in the past 10 years of my life, where I've changed my life from being a victim to becoming a survivor who's thriving. And the one mindset shift, and this is something which Tony Robbins said, and it's really stuck to me, is life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And the most important thing is, before the 10 years, before I came to Australia, I always used to ask this question, why me? Why did it happen to me? Why did it happen to me? I was very much in the victim mode. But slowly, when I started to shift that mindset from why me, it's become because I've been chosen to bring this message along and to be that northern light for other survivors who are still finding their voice. So that shift from life is happening to me, instead of that, life is happening for me. So anything that I've gone through, any trauma, any difficulties, they are the reason of who I am today. Absolutely. And that one mindset shift is a game changer.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a game changer.
Well, it's a great attitude to have. And if we can, like I said in the past, being able to take your pain and turning it into power, that's exactly what you've done. So kudos to you. My high respect to you. So thank you. So Heena, you often speak about turning personal challenges into purpose. How has your lived experience shaped the way you lead and advocate today?
That's a really good question. And thank you for asking that question, because a lot of times people don't want to go that deep into it. But one thing I would like to say, that how I've turned my pain into purpose reflects in everything that I do. The empathy that I have for people, the understanding of other people's situations, being non-judgmental, because I have been judged a lot. And going through that painful phase has shaped me to become a better leader. So instead of telling people what to do, I actually give them the tools so they can do it themselves. And that nurturing has come through it as well, because maybe that was part of it which was missing during that painful period. So now when I look at people, when I talk to people, it's always from a very non-judgmental lens. It's always from the perspective of understanding why is somebody like that. Instead of saying, this person is rude, or hey, she's such a bitch, or, this guy is absolutely nuts. I start to analyze and think, why are they like that? And that helps me break down barriers quite a lot as a leader in my organizations, because oftentimes it's easy to be superficial and blame people, but when you get into the deeper layers, not only you build that connection and trust, but you nurture better leaders for tomorrow.
I love that. That is so true. And that judgment and shame you just mentioned, that is such a huge thing in our community, and all of us with our confidence and, where we want to go in life, that can stop us, being judged and shaming others. And the fact that you could find not to judge your own self and shame your own self with your own experiences, you then are able to transfer it onto others and give them the permission not to be judged or to judge or to be shamed of their experience. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So Heena, we've spoken a lot about what it is you do and why you advocate for what it is that you stand for around childhood sexual abuse. If you could change one system in Australia right now to create real impact, what would it be and why?
It's a tricky one because childhood sexual abuse, domestic violence, gender-based violence, they are very interconnected to each other. So probably if it were to me, I would have a full rehaul of the legislative system to ensure there's better accountability for the abusers. Because oftentimes we read in newspapers, we look at the news, and somebody has hit their wife or somebody has been very violent in their relationship. But 2 years later, you find them being violent with another person. And my question is, that why was that person allowed to walk away without any repercussions for what they did to the first one? Because they might have hit somebody in the first go, they got the confidence because they can do it and there's no repercussions.
And they got away with
it. They got away with it. So next time, you don't want to wait until the time they kill somebody.
That's right.
Right? So for me, if it was one thing, it's probably micro mini parts of the legislation which needs to change. So I wouldn't say that one thing can be done. I feel like it's the whole system where we are talking about better accountability for the abusers so that survivors can live with peace, because it takes time to heal as well. But knowing that your abuser is out in the community and can now damage somebody else or can create, serious health issues or serious mental health issues for another child or another woman, that takes away the peace from you to live your life fully. So that's one thing that I would definitely want to change.
And I suppose this is why you got into politics. And I want to say recently you introduced, and most of the women that in We Rise you've introduced politics to, and most of us have not really thought about politics or even wanted to get into it because of the stigma around politics. But recently attending the United Nations with you, really hearing you speak and bring awareness to politics, and even creating a room full of women where we are not just thinking about politics. How about we look at it from a different angle? Like, can we make a significant impact by changing the laws? So it's not just about you talking or advocating or coaching or mentoring. You've gone that step higher where you can actually make a significant difference by changing laws, like really putting your money where your mouth is, in other words, right? Where childhood sexual abuse is, it's not just talk anymore. It's not just, you've taken that step, and that's very admirable. And I've never really looked at politics that way. But now, you being in it and being associated with you brought awareness to many of us that if we truly want to make a significant difference, that's where we can actually make the difference.
Absolutely.
We change the laws.
Absolutely. And I know that politics has a lot of stigma for a lot of us. And I wouldn't say that when I first entered as an independent candidate for Senate, there were people who reached out to me and asked me, am I sure that I really want to do this? Including some of my family members, because they were really worried about me. But once they got to know the fire of why I'm doing it, it became much easier. When you tell people the real reason of why you're doing it, you're more likely to be supported by them. Because as I said, 1 in 4. So there are high chances that people I'm speaking to have also probably gone through something that I've been through.
That's right. And I think what you're advocating for is a really uncomfortable topic. Not many people want to hear it. And the first time I heard you boldly get up there and tell your story, it was quite confronting. And it was pretty easy to see in the room how many of us were affected where we had stayed silent. And the fact that you're getting up there and talking about it, breaking that stigma of shame and judgment, I think that gives a lot of others permission to be also, get that help that they need, heal from within, rather than pushing it to the background because there's so much stigma around it and so much shame around it. When we start speaking, we give others a chance to speak. So well done.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Aloyna.